So what we'll be seeing few outline that how is your Azure pricing and life cycle right now, right? So let's just first thing is what kind of thing actually affect the cost. So there is your first resource type, what kind of resource you are using. Okay, on the resource type, if you remember, we were choosing the plan, the SKU, right? Storage keeping unit, SKUs, right? So there I was choosing the plan, like, I was choosing the free one. So I started with the free tier, right? So that free tier is going to save a lot of money for me. Other whether there are the different tiers like the free or pass one, right? Those kind of thing. So those kind of things also help you to reduce cost, which services you are choosing, right? Either they are enterprise or the IaaS base, or which kind of services you are actually implemented, PaaS, SaaS, that also affect the cost as well. Location. Okay, so let's just say one specific size of the VM is costing in India around 3.9 rupees per hour. Same thing will be costing you around 2.4 in the rupees per hour. This is in the central India, and same thing could be happening, same size of machine could be costing different in the East US region. So there could be, this is the kind of the bit flexible thing that we have seen in the past as well, right? So the location is also the one place. So you have to choose the best location for your particular resource to deploy, right? So that's the one thing. Now apart from that, bandwidth, right? What is bandwidth? So let me just tell you the one example of the bandwidth, how bandwidth is going to change the cost. So we were having the Azure availability zones, right? So you can actually use the availability zone. There is no cost to create a availability zone. Where is the cost? When your data will be replicated on the different places, so there is no charge for the incoming data on even the data centers as well. There is the specifically outbound, outgoing charge. So when your data is leaving one data center and going to another, so you will be charged for that. Then another data center is receiving it, so there will be no charge for receiving it. Now let's just say from this data center you copy your data onto the other center, right? So there will be again no charge for receiving, but for outbounding there will be the charge. So these kind of things also change or affect your cost. Apart from that, if you are running the reserve instance, right? So you are just running on the if you are going with the pay as you go, okay, so you may be charged, let's say, around the $100 for particular specific storage or VM. But if you are just going with the Azure reservation, right, and let's just say that you have said that you are going to use the Azure security or those VM for 3 years, so same thing could be costing you around $32 itself. So where you were spending one in 1 year, you are spending $100, you could be just having that thing for the $32 itself a year, right? So that is the kind of the difference that you will be seeing when you will be having the reserve instance. Now most, and if you will be going with the hybrid, this is the one of the very flexible thing that you will be receiving. And again, you can save around 49% of the costings, right? So same thing will be around 51 for you. So here what you can do, you can go with the structure like bring your own license, and like the one offer specific, if you have purchased the Visual Studio, right, for let's just say 1 year, so they could be giving you the $10,000 or something like that as the 10,000 Azure credit or something like that as well. And this remind me one thing. So they are, okay, so I think that will be coming up. We'll be seeing that. And then we have the your pricing calculator, that if you want to calculate, and total cost of ownership calculator. So I'll be showing you both of them, so you can actually calculate that according to region, the tier you are choosing, the billing option you are choosing, support option, the program you are choosing, okay, all the things you are choosing, that what or how much it is going to cost. Let's just say that you are running only one VM, right, on the Windows operating system, right, of a standard type or a particular size. So how much it is going to cost you. So we have a tool in Azure with the name Azure pricing calculator, and another one is total cost of ownership. So it will be just giving you the complete vision, that if you use this for this many year, you can compare side by side, that if you have used the on premise, okay, how much you have cost spent, and if you are using the Azure cloud, how much you are saving. Okay, so let me just take you to this place and show you this. Let me just discard this quickly, jump into the pricing calculator and your total cost of ownership. Right, so right now this is your pricing calculator. So you can download the report here as well. So let me just refresh this one. So why it is okay. Let me just select one VM. I want to just go with the one VM. So it is added at this part. Okay, so size I can choose the what will be the size, for how much hour it will be running, what is the upfront cost, 0, what will be the monthly cost, 152. Right now again I can make few changes. Let's just say that I want to run the 50 VMs right now. Right, let's just say 15 no, 49, and let me just make it 50. Right, so this for the 730 hours. So what will be my cost there? Again I can choose pay as you go. If I just, let's see, okay, so I'm having this $7,000 that I have to pay with the pay as you go, with the license included. Same thing if I just pick it for the 3 years. Now at the same place I have to give only $5,000. So this is saving me money. Then I select this Azure Hybrid as well. Only I have to pay $1,800. So in Azure Hybrid I will be bringing my own license. So this is your calculator, that if you have to show this to your boss or something, you have to make your point that why we should move to the particular cloud, right? This is the one feature. Apart from that, we are having this total cost of ownership page as well. So here I have already, I think, okay, I haven't set the particular resources in here. So what you can do, you can add your server load. Okay, and in the server loads you can let me just quickly, give me a second, let me just load the page with the my total cost of ownership. Okay, fine, yeah. Okay, so it is still empty. Okay, okay, yeah, finally I got the page which is preset. Right, no, it is not preset. Still, okay, don't worry, let me just add the server load here. So let's just say that I want the server of 8 GB which is running here. I will be just comparing it. So Windows or Linux server that is running, and physical server operating system will be Windows. Okay, I'm adding the data centers, and the server I want to run, let's just say that those are 50. Okay, let the same thing be the same. Let's just say the 8 cores I want to run, GPU none, K80, right? I want the Windows Server 2008 R2, right? Like this. You can add the database. Okay, so let it be the same. Let's just say you just want the, again, 8 GB of RAM, SQL Server 2000, instance core, let's just say 14, virtual core. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, SQL Server managed instance, right? These kind of thing you are just going with. Let's just say that 50 servers you are wanting, the data center, the server you are wanting, again the 50, right? This is your need, that what you are specifying. The I will be selecting the SSD blob storage, your 100 TB I am requiring, right? So like this you will be creating the, then the network and networking bandwidth. Let's just say I'm just wanting the 20 GB. Then you can actually adjust few assumption, like what would be the cost if you will be just running with the electricity cost, what will be the other cost. So this is the cost adjustment page. You can do the hardware cost, software cost, and if you click on next, so this will be the report. So over 5 years with Microsoft Azure, my estimated cost saving is this, right? So if you just want to have the chart here, so you can check. So if I was using the on-premise, those particular resources on the on-premise for 5 years, I would be paying this much of the money, right? But right now I am just paying with the cloud, I'm just paying this much of the money. So I am saving a lot of the money with this particular cloud portal, right? So this is the one another feature that is in your Azure portal, which is telling you that how you can actually go and save a bit of the money, right? So that's the one thing that we are seeing, the total cost of ownership and your pricing calculator. You can calculate the price itself, right? Then we have something which I call the SLAs, right? So SLA is describing Microsoft commitment that the uptime they are going to provide to you, right? So it could be depending on individual product itself, the type of disk you are using, the type of service level agreement you are having, the tier you are having, because like me, I am an MCT, so I can generate a lot of passes for myself, right? Which is the $100. Okay, so in each 3 day, I can generate one other pass. So I use them. Okay, and what is actually happening? If I am the free tier user or I am the preview user, so this kind of these SLA is not applicable for me because I am using the services for free. But when you are having the detailed agreement on the enterprise level, so there are some service level agreement that are in place. So this is like this, like I think for the premium SSDs, they are having the uptime of 99.99%, right? Similarly, for Azure Managed SQL Server, they are having the weightage of around your 99.9, right? So with the managed disk, if you have to manage this, not the premium and the standard, you will be having 99.5% of service level agreement. So how it is defining into the hour? So you can expect 7 hour downtime in 99% of SLA, 99.5% SLA, 3 hours 39 minutes, and then 43 minute in the 99.9, 21 minute in 99.95, and in the 4 nines you can estimate the 4 minute downtime. And when you are having the 5 nines, that means 26 seconds of the downtime in a month. So that is your service level agreement that we are talking about, right? So how you can increase your SLA or reduce lower your SLA? So when you are just keep introducing new different services, more services, and making it more complex your architecture, your SLA will be down, right? You are choosing the free tiers or the non SLA services like the managed disk and all, not the premium disk. You are going with the standard disk. So those are going to decrease your SLA. So you can choose the availability zone redundant system to increase your service level agreement, right? Then again, one thing in the end that you need to keep in mind. So yesterday as well, I was telling you something about the preview. So there is one thing that is the public preview, right? So public preview is something like when there is any particular service which is tested right now by the Azure, and it is available for all the publics. You can test that as well. Then there is general availability, means testing phase is complete and now it is generally available for use for every user, right? There is also the Azure preview as well. Okay, so you can test the beta version, pre-release version, all those kind of things. So there are the some feature that has been provided by the Azure to you as well, right? So this is going to be it in the session, right, of the Azure fundamental. So we have seen different services as well, and in the end I just want to show you guys that IAM part, right? So I was talking about the on the resource level as well, you can actually implement the your identity and access management. So again, I am at this place, so this is my directory, right, home. So if I just go to any particular resource group itself, okay, so this is my resource group, right? So here I can give the permission to anyone. So this is the identity and access management control, right? So I can just click on the add. Okay, here access control, I can click on add. I can add the role assignment, co-administrator, or custom roles. So I can click on the roles, right, role assignment. So I can select a particular role like the owner. I can assign it to the user or group or anyone. So here I am only having one person, so I can give this person the access control that you can use this. So this is on the resource level. So when I'm applying this on the resource level, so by default this rule will be inherited by all these machines itself, right? So this is the one thing that you guys need to keep in mind, that this thing is also going to be there. So whenever you are just creating a resource group, okay, and if I jump into the one of the resource, so you can implement this on the particular resource group level as well. Like if I go to the access management here as well, so what you will find that here at this part as well, I am having the same panel where I can implement the particular identity and access control management at this point, right? So people can have this again and again. So you can make sure that this is a fine grained access management that you have implemented, right? So this is going to be the it, right? So this was the few things that I was wanted to show you. So again, apart from that, you can create the policies as well. This is the part where you can create the policy. So here, as you can see in my policy, my resource compliance is, because by default I have implemented this policy, ASC default one, right? So as you can see, 1 is compliant, 6 is non-compliant. So if you want to check what are these policies, you can click on it. So there are actually multiple predefined policies as well, which you can implement here. So these are the all these things that I haven't allowed the backup, and I haven't enabled the boot diagnose and all those kind of things. That's why it is showing me these things, right? So if you want to just start with the any particular assignment, so you can assign the policies to this group. Okay, so what will be the assignment name, the type, you can create the policy, what is will be the parameter, remediation. So you can define these things as well. Okay, so these are the few things in your Azure portal, and this is going to be it in the session of your Azure fundamentals. So I try to give you the overall view that what is your Azure service, what kind of services is it providing, what is your cloud definitions, creating the few machines, few app, network security group, the security part, okay, and calculating all these kind of thing as well, right? So guys, this will be it in this particular Azure fundamental webinar, okay, masterclass. And if you have any doubts, you can refer to the InfoSec train as well. They will be redirecting you. If you have, specifically you want me to clear your doubts, you can ask me, ask them to refer to me. So they will be referring you to me, and I can clear your doubts on any front as well. Okay, and I hope you find this particular webinar eventful. I help you to gain some knowledge on the basics of your Azure fundamentals. So I hope this is kind of fruitful for you as well. So that's it from my end. Okay.